Hello guys. What guys? So as I said yesterday, I'll today merge all the changes and complete the in-memory part of the queue. But while reviewing my code before merging all the things, I found some particularly niche errors. We can't say them errors; they are bugs, which can cause pretty much pain in the ass for us later. So let's try to fix them. Let me tell you what's the first bug. The first bug is a deadlock condition. So here in update status, you can see I acquire a write lock and defer the unlock. Then I call get function. The get function internally acquires read lock, but there is a property of RW mutex that if I want to acquire a read lock, I need not to have a write lock. So it will wait for me indefinitely while I update the status, and that will cause a deadlock. So I need to fix this. So I came up with the thing called, instead of calling get, we can call the jobs and check for the ID, and we can go for exists. The same thing we were doing in the get function, we will do it explicitly here, and we'll just return if no jobs is found. Okay, let me exist. If not exists, let me just write it down. Run job with ID does not exist. Yeah, this error will work fine. Next thing we need to do is to honor the contexts. We are currently not honoring the context. We are passing the context, but the contexts are not being honored. So I can do what I can do is create a helper function that will check, validate whether the context given to me is all right or not, and based on the context, if the context gets completed, it will throw the context dot error. Let me write the function, then you will understand, I guess. Function validate context. It will be an internal function, internal helper function that will take context of type context, and it will give us an error. So what we'll do first is check if ctx equals null, nil. If it's nil, we'll throw an error. Will write down an error, I guess. That will be errors.new context does not exist, or something like context is null. This will work fine. And secondly, we will do is check if the context has finished, like this case where we'll check ctx dot done. If it is done, we'll simply say why there's error, select case must be send or received, possibly with alignment. Let me check what I did wrong. Context dot done. Okay, how to fix this? Context dot done. How is context dot done called? Is it using a channel? Let me check. Select using context. Select statement using context. Golang. Yeah, it needs to pass through a channel like this. This will work. Yeah, we will just return context dot error. What's the issue? Invalid operation cannot receive from non-channel. Error context dot error. Should I return this? Yeah, I should return this instead. Select. We'll have a default case which will be empty, and this will work indefinitely. So in each function, after acquiring the lock, we can check for context. Validate context. It will throw an error. We'll pass our own context. If error not null, will return. What will return is error. That's all. Yeah, this will work. Let's copy this to all the other functions too. Here we will also need to have a job, and then so I'll return nil with the job, and error should be this one. This works fine. Is valid transaction. Okay. I think it should be called transition, as we are transitioning from a phase to other phase. Transition. Yep, this works fine. Next thing we will do is this, and here we will also do this. Think everything is fixed here. We are validating the context. We are also checking for deadlock. There's no deadlock. Where's the error? Where's the compiler crying? Here it is crying, so it should return error. Return nil. If everything succeeds, it will return nil. Oh yeah, it should return. Now everything will work fine. Yep. Next thing we'll do is some more error handling with retry. So let me just remove this for now. We need to handle errors here too. Okay, the retry engine is taking a store queue and the max delay, which is duration. We need error handling. So if delay, if statement can be modernized using min max. How? Delay minimum j dot delay. What was the if statement? Delay is greater than. No, I don't want to. I don't know this function pretty well. Okay, this one here we get an error. We just print it out. Why do we print it out? We don't. Error F. Oh, what the hell? What? All not used. Yeah, that's an issue. We need to handle this too. If there's handle failure, it should return an error, I think. It needs to return an error. Before that, I saw one thing. Why are we passing context.background? I should explicitly send a context with it, which is of type context.context, and here I should use ctx. Here I should use ctx, and here too I should use ctx. Yeah. Next thing we need to do is check for this one. handle failure. Let's just print that for now. Handle failure during update status. Yeah, this will work. For now, this will work. What's the issue here? No issue. Should retry next delay. I should also check for context here. So what I will do is select a case which will check for context.done, and it will return what you should do is handle failure. Handle failure does not return an error. Should return while printing. I should print like this. And there should be a default case which will be empty. Instead of printf, I use println. No context. Context. I should use context.then as err. So cdx dot error. Yeah, this type of error, and I should nearby use this one, something like this, this, and during context check. Handle failure during context check. This will work. Alright. Next thing we'll do is this throws an error, but we are ignoring it, so we'll not ignore it from now and use it like if error not equal null. We'll just use something like this. It is for update status to during update status to dead, and during update status to pending. During is not update, it's for us only, so this will work. Update status to dead, there's an error. I remember, yeah, it also throws an error, so we should handle that too. ERR equals to, it's already defined, so we'll define it here like this, and NQ. While if NQ fails, we should return. If NQ fails, we should also update the status to failed NQ job. Okay, if we were stating what we were doing was updating the status to pending, we were enqueuing, and this can go for an infinite loop. What we should do is, I remember we have a j.error, so what we should do is j.error equals to err. Error is a type of string, fmt dot error will error f1 fmt dot error f what it returns an error. So what we can do is stringify the error it won't work. Cannot record error variable of interface type error to type string. Yeah, g dot error should be context not found during failure handle during handle failure. Something like that would work for now. Here we should also add j dot error equals to cannot update status to pending while retrying. This will work. Next, here we will need cannot enqueue the job error not able to enqueue job, something like that for now on. And here something like this will work fine. Status to dead while max retry. Cannot update status to dead, something like that. For now on, just let's just keep it simple as it is, and this one should be removed. Next thing we will do is go to the enqueue. Yeah, this is a typo I need to fix. So here I'll also do enqueue. Also I'll check in other files where enqueue is used. It's not used here, not used here, not used here. Yeah, all the other files are empty for now, so also I need to remove this file. Tool.q does not use enqueue. There's one thing here. Here we are using retry engine, which is type of struct, but we need to use an interface here because in later stages I'm going to switch to Redis, and the function signatures will remain the same while their functionality may differ, so we need to use an interface here. So I should define an interface here. Let's define type engine interface, which will contain handle failure, because handle failure internally use next delay and nothing next delay. We can use handle failure. What's the signature type? It's this. See, we will just paste it out. So I should go to the pool and just update this to try engine. So what we will have is a handle failure function. And where's the handle failure function used? It's used in where it is used. Let me go through it. Update status, get update status. It's not being used till now. Okay, one more thing we need to do is registry gives us Registry is also a struct which gives us two methods, get and register. We only need to use get method from the registry. I can show you the registry. Like this is my registry. It has multiple methods like new registry, register, get. Instead of defining an interface here, which is already defined, which is handle interface, what I'll do is define an interface. Let me think about this. I'll define an interface there. Something like an internal interface, which is type handler get, something like that. It's an interface that exposes the get function, which has this function signature. We will take get this. So I'll go here and it will do this. It will be handler and a bool. Instead of using registry here, I'll use handler get. Okay, we need to do something select. Like here we have get function, which is pretty much defined. It's a handler get. Just takes a string, gives us a handler and a bool. That's alright. Here we are ignoring the errors. We also need to mark those errors. And here, why is there an issue? Unused parameter ID. Oh, I defined it. Something like. Okay. Let me define the functions. Like, give me a sec. Pool.cancel, pool.wg.wait. If there's error, time.sleep. Okay, it's handled here. We need error handling here too, which is mark Java running error, which is this pool.store.update status, which will give us an error like we will have a okay, yeah, this one will suck because we also need to recover. This one, how will I write this? Should I change the function signature somewhat? Like process job can throw an error. The other functions are start, stop, and run worker and process job. So I should give it an error. It should return an error. Okay, it should return an error. It should be like return. Did I use FMT errors package? No. So I should use some package like FMT or errors package. Return errors dot new, which will be just error updating status to what we are doing is here is running. Yeah, this will work for now. Here we will also need to define an error. Pool.update status will return see. Wow, what the fuck I was doing? Yeah, I should just do this and remove this. Yeah, this will work fine. Here too, I need to do this. If there error, return. Yes. One thing, how will I recover? If there's error and there's internal error, how should I handle error here? I should ask my AI. How should I error here in process job? I think it will give us some clue about how to handle the error, because here the function needs to recover, and if we throw an error like that, it's not like good practice. Also, write error handling strategies. Quickly inspect related intervals. So, okay, and then showing the current function including a panel. Yeah, this one I was talking about. Status update. Failed status update error deterministically. Let's see how it does the things. Next on our list is, from my list, I think I have completed most of the things, like taking context and all that. Everything is done for now. Just this last bit was remaining. What it did was, if the j equals nil, okay, it's checking if job is nil, it will return an error. Okay, then mark the job as running. It's doing a lot of things here. I don't need too much of it. Okay, mark the job as running. Error pool.status. It will do error F with job ID and error. That's good. Panic error. So it's returning a panic error. Panic while processing this. Status error. So it's defining a status error and a panic error. If status error is not equals to nil, errors.join. Okay, it's joining the panic error and the status error. Fail to mark the job after panic, and it's setting error as panic error. That's great. Okay, here status error. We have status error, this. At the end, it's returning nil. Status error, no handler history for job. This is good. Okay, what it's doing is returning errors based on the condition, like panic error, status error. This is okay. Alright. Handler error. It will check if handler is not okay, then it will check the status error. Okay, if status error also arises, it will join the error. If no status error arises, it will just throw the handler error. Yep, everything looks good to me. Now I think everything will work fine. Let me check other things. If I find something like handler, it's get handler, it's giving us this, everything looks good to me. Config.go, this, okay, So I think I have what I need before merging all the things. I'll need a dead letter queue, but I'll implement the dead letter queue once I am gone to the Redis part and metrics is pretty much defined pretty later. Like in the week 3, we will work on metrics. So I think everything is done here. For now, process job looks too verbose, but it's okay to be verbose sometimes. Store. Let me go through every file like handler. It will give us a handle which will take a context and job and give us an error. We haven't defined this function well yet. Validate context. Validate context. All the things look good. I can say this is okay. Everything looks cool. Retry engine is using errors. We should do DLQ. Later we will change error structure, like a central error handler would be fine. But for now everything looks cool to me. And that's all we will do today. Tomorrow we will merge all the changes and then complete the memory queue part, test the memory queue, and lastly we will do a thing that is create Redis backend. After that